I'm here with Peter Heine Nielsen, one of the driving forces behind Magnus Carlsen's success in recent years. Peter, welcome to St. Louis, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about your involvement and how it started with the world champion.
Well, he wasn't exactly the world champion at the time. I think maybe like a bit more than 15 years ago. Well, he was a small kid, but he's from Norway, I'm from Denmark. So we're very close countries, so they would tell me there is this sort of talented kid, and there was some training camp in Norway where it had something to do with the older kids. And then I did a small lecture for the absolutely minors. And Magnus was there, and we spoke a bit, and I think he invited me to come a couple of days for training, and we basically got very friendly. And quite soon, also it became this strange situation that, he was like 14, but he was the second highest rated player in Scandinavia after me. So, I think at 14 I started to see him as a colleague, although that he was still a kid. So basically, we had some... I wasn't training him, he was just coming to visit me in Denmark for a couple of weeks, and we looked at chess and we played football or whatever, and became a sort of a mixture of friends and colleagues, but of course also with the age difference, some kind of a player relationship in some sense. And then, to make a sort of huge leap forward, in 2013 he asked me to be his head coach, and I said sure, and I've been doing that since.
Tell us a bit about your relationships during camps, because you stay with him for like months at a time. How does a usual day in one of the World Championship camps go?
Yeah, Magnus is not known as a sort of extremely dedicated trainer in that sense. So that's more, I used to work for Anand, and I think in 2012 we had a camp that started mid-January and it ended mid-April. So that was quite a long. Magnus camps are a bit shorter in some sense, but of course it's a huge mixture of looking at openings, playing training games with openings. Let's say, he faces Karana next month. Hopefully he's prepared some surprises, but he needs to practice them in some games. So we invite some friends over. But also, it will be quite sociable, so we would look at some sports, and we will do some sports to be in physical shape and such. So it's, it's probably not like a regular sports camp, but even I think last time we went to La Santa Sport, which is sort of a sports sports place in the Canary Islands, and we could do all kind of different sports. So we were playing football, playing basketball, and there was a lot of people was training for triathlon, and we will go and train chess as well. So, Magnus is Magnus, and he does it his way, and we'd wish we were doing things differently, but I think the point is with these players who are geniuses, they do it their ways and it works, and it's not really my job to tell Magnus maybe we should do it differently, because, I think it's pretty obviously he's doing quite well.
Absolutely, every player is different, and he's very interested in sports. You also are very interested in sports, and he made a comment yesterday that you became interested in baseball a few years back. Tell us how that started, and why did you watch the Cardinals and the Yankees?
Well, that's quite weird, but there was this excellent movie called Moneyball, and it got me completely hooked on baseball. So I started, it's sort of about the Oakland A's, who's a very poor team, and they have to beat the stronger teams like the Yankees, the richer ones. They have to think very interesting strategically and spend their money wisely and such. So I got very much into that. It's something called sabermetrics. It's about baseball statistics and how to maximize your chances. I think even I took an online class at Boston University to sort of get into that. So I got fascinated by baseball. Also, when you work as a second, right, it'll be many nights where you have to study, and the good point is that baseball is every night for tons of hours. So I can watch baseball games when I do that. So it's fitted quite well. But you asked about sports in general also, and I think Magnus is a huge basket and football fan. So, we spend a lot of time together. We have to talk about some things. So it's almost part of my job to also be updated on the sports and basketball front.
Did you manage to apply these data statistics to chess?
Well, actually, it's strange, but we think chess is a strategical game. It's a strategical game on the board, but it's not like, baseball, that the score is 5-3 and such. You have to do certain things. In chess, do your opening preparation and try to win the game. That's more or less it. Baseball and, let's say, football, basketball has all kind of much more sort of complex strategies in that sense. So, as strange as it is, I think in chess there is little strategy off the board. It's actually very, very straightforward. While baseball and basketball, you have to think in a completely different way. So it's kind of weird.
And final question, what is the percentage number that you would give Magnus as a chance to win this event?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know, 53 or something like that. I don't know. No, there's still, I think, 5 rounds left and such, and hopefully, I mean, let's not jinx it, but if he gets to a playoff, he normally does well and such. He still has good chances, but of course, well, I mean, sometimes he often gets in his sprint, and in Zagreb it got a bit early and such, but there is still time for a sprint, so I'm still optimistic, but, well, if he doesn't win this one, it's been a good year anyway, so I'm not too worried.
Awesome. Thank you very much for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Guys,